Dez Bryant, I have no idea why you took the approach that you took. It is shameful. It is disgusting what Dez Bryant did. It's disgusting and it's hateful and it is borderline misogynistic. Like, where are you going with this, bro? Like, what are you doing? So what we've got to do, let me just speak for black people. What we got to do as black people is learn to disagree without being personal, without really personally going in. If you disagree with the journalism that Malika Andrews did, because that's who he was talking about, in a nasty thread on Twitter, really nasty. If you disagree with her journalism, what does her, whether she went to public school, private school, or homeschool, what does that have to do with it? What do her parents have to do with it? Saying her parents didn't raise her right? Saying she's going after black men and she's targeting black men? In the case of Brandon Miller, and that's what he was going at, Brandon Miller, it was an allegation as well, but there was more of a story. There were more details that we knew about. We knew about the details of Brandon Miller in Alabama. There was an investigation. He was cleared of wrongdoing in this investigation. There was a teammate who asked him to bring a gun. Hey, bring me my gun. My gun is in your car. He brought the gun back to his teammate. He did not know. He told investigators, I did not know my teammate was gonna do this to harm someone. Investigators agreed with him. He was not charged with anything. But you gotta be out of your mind to think that is not worthy of bringing up. It was brought up during the NCAA tournament. Why would that not come up on draft night? That is a legitimate question. It's a question. It's not a commentary from Malika Andrews. She's doing her job. So, I mean, I can't get down with that. I don't know what Dez Bryant's point is. I'm not feeling it. I think he's wrong. I think he's wrong. He apologized for the aggressiveness, but you got to apologize for more than that. And don't apologize on X, Twitter, whatever it is. Really step up and contact her personally, because that was just above and beyond anything that is reasonable. I'm sorry, Natalie. I told you I want you to get involved,
that's okay.
But I just got going.
That's all right.
It just bothers me.
Oh, gosh.
So what are your thoughts on it, Natalie?
You both said so many things, okay, and I've been trying to keep the points in my head, okay. But first of all, this whole idea about, yes, Ashley is correct, and I agree with her in terms of the disparate treatment in terms of how sometimes black athletes are covered versus members of other race. But the problem to me, wherein lies, is when people come for Malika Andrews, and this is a much bigger conversation, it's a deeper conversation, and the Malika Andrews thing, by the way, has been going on for a long time, and there's other layers to this, right? Why black men feel that Malika Andrews doesn't like black men. This is not, so Dez Bryant is just the most prominent person to come out with this, but this has been an ongoing conversation. And
why some black men? Just the editors. Some black men,
right?
Okay.
And have been targeting her, right? This Root article is back to 2022 because it's actually been going on for a while, and many people have been speaking up for Malika Andrews, right? But there's this thing where it's nothing critical can be said. You know, we see it with Deion Sanders, we see it with anyone else. It's we're only supposed to praise, we can only say nice things, and we cannot be critical. So I just want to, with respect to Brandon Miller and how he went about attacking Malika Andrews, and you brought up the point, I just want to clarify that he hasn't, Brandon Miller, when you say he wasn't, he was cleared of any wrongdoing, he wasn't charged with a crime. And that's because they determined they couldn't charge him with a crime. But I just want to be clear that, in my opinion, there was a wrongdoing. He facilitated a crime. Whether he knew or not, he brought someone a gun, and Jamia Harris, let's just say her name because she gets overlooked, a black 23-year-old woman died. Parents lost a child. So forgive me, people, that I am not bothered by the fact that Brandon Miller may be inconvenienced during the draft because Malika Andrews mentions the fact that this happened. It was a widely covered news story, okay? It's forever going to be affiliated with him. It will always come up. That is what happens. But she didn't try to disparage him. She talked about the facts of that situation as we know them.
Right.
And it cannot be that when we were just discussing a factual situation, because it involves a black man, that it should not be covered. And when they say, you know, his kids may hear that later, hello again, Jamia Harris,
right.
You know, her parents will never have her ever again. She is gone. That is a minor inconvenience to me. He gets to live and carry on with his life, right? And so this thing is ridiculous with Malika Andrews. It really is. And like I said, it's very layered because there's just other things there. It's about who her partner is, and they don't like the fact that the people who are critical of her, you know, she's biracial, her partner is a white man. And so there's other things there because initially the boys loved her. The boys loved her on Twitter, and they were so excited when she got her new job. And then all of a sudden, when it came out who her partner was and other things, now there was like this really deep look at her coverage and how she does things. So it's really unfair, and I'm sorry. The last point that I just wanted to make in general.
Go ahead. Hey, go ahead.
This idea when it comes to we have to wait till someone is proven guilty or innocent and all these things, I just need the energy to be the same because it's not consistent. First of all, we do not always wait before we form opinions on things ever, right? Like if this involved, if there was a crime, police violence, a black person was killed, something, we don't wait and rush, right? We're like, he did it. He might get away. There's no waiting. And I just find it interesting that in those situations, you don't want to wait. But in any other situation, you want to wait. The point is when a jury or a judge or whoever decides on a matter, they're making a decision based on the facts presented to them. So when we form an opinion, we're doing the same thing. Yes, we may not have all the information, but we're doing the same thing. And even if someone is found guilty or innocent, or if it's a civil case and there's an award, that doesn't mean that the person did or didn't do it. It means that the case was proved or not proved, or something, you know, based on what was presented, this is the determination that was made. And so many factors play into that. If you can afford good counsel, different things. So the outcome of a court decision does not mean that someone did or didn't do something. And I don't have to accept that as gospel or Bible in terms of forming my opinion about someone. Sorry, I know that was long.
No.
I'll close out.
Go ahead.
With
land the plane on this one. Land the plane on this, Ashley, and then we'll go to a break.
I'll say this. I understand the validity and the frustration and the ideology of double standards because it exists, it's real, and it's not just in the world of sports. It's in corporate America. It's in the world that we live in. And it's the unfortunate reality of being a Black person in this country, and I get it. But everything's in your delivery and everything is in the way that you present your emotions. And Malika Andrews and anybody else in the world of journalism, and yes, there are bad apples and there are bad seeds that are continuously pushing certain narratives and biases. But journalism is about telling the facts, telling the story. And sometimes those facts are ugly and sometimes they're not. And while I understand being frustrated with the entities that are media and how they may lean more one way than the other, that's not an individual crusade. She's not deciding, I'm going to only talk about this. There's a power that be that goes way above her. So I understand the frustration, but this in a sense is kill the messenger because your problem is not with one individual, whether it's her, whether it's Natalie, whether it's you, whether it's myself. Your problem is with the foundation that media, the ugly foundation in parts that media is built on, and that leans heavily in the direction of Black people in this country. So I understand the frustration, but it's misguided anger. And I would wish that people would really do more research in how this whole thing works and direct that anger and frustration and cause for change, if you will, to the right people. Because Dez, and I'm a fan of Dez, have been my entire life, obviously being a Cowboys fan, but the message in which he was trying to get across, there's a message there, but the direction was wrong, and that's why it got misconstrued.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.